If you're thinking about going to school for a marketing degree, please watch this. I was so hesitant to even make this video because I don't want to be responsible for swaying someone's decision. Oddly enough, this is one of my most requested videos, and I did a marketing video about 3 years ago, and I still get comments to this day asking me to answer questions about jobs, if marketing is the right decision for them, and what I think about marketing now 3 years later. And I honestly wish that I could respond back to every single one of you guys, but I don't know. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know the person that's watching this. So I'm gonna break this video down into 4 parts, and hopefully this will help you decide if marketing is a good career choice for you, what type of jobs are going to be in marketing, salaries, expectations, day in the life, and all of those things. So I want to start off the video by talking about what is marketing. I think that there is a lot of misconception about what marketing is in the first place, and I think that it can be broken down into the 4 famous P's: product, price, promotion, and place. I really had to look that up because I have not thought about this in so long. A quick definition: marketing can be defined as activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product or service. Under that definition, it goes into like online marketing, branding, publicity, pricing strategy, social media, direct marketing, advertising, research, social media, public relations. All of these things go into marketing. So whenever you talk to someone that's in sales, even though they're in sales, they're also part of like the marketing team. If they're in public relations or PR, it's also part of the marketing team, people that are on social media, on email, people behind strategy, people behind brand, people behind image. A lot of it goes into, well, all of that goes into the umbrella of like what is marketing. Every single company in the world and every single thing has some type of marketing team. Some have really big teams, some have very small teams, but anytime that you see anything on TV, on socials, on newspapers, all of that goes into what is marketing. So now that I've given a very like broad definition and kind of like a mini course on what marketing is, I want to talk about my experience, because if you want to know more like in-depth details about what marketing is and all that, you can probably find it here on YouTube on someone else's page. A little backstory on me: I graduated from the University of Texas with a bachelor's in marketing. That was about like 4 years ago, and my idea the whole time with this marketing degree was that I really wanted to live like this nomad lifestyle where I could basically like move around and not be stuck in one place. So I really wanted a remote job, and before remote jobs were really a thing, one of the few industries or career choices that you could do remote jobs in was digital marketing. So I looked for a digital marketing job or a social media job, something like that that would give me that flexibility, and I found one about 3 months after I graduated from college. And I stayed in that job up until like a few months ago, whenever I was laid off because of this crazy job market and just like economic situation that we're in. In that job, I first started off as a community manager, which basically whenever I was hired for that role, of course that means social media: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I had a podcast that I managed, and at that time we also had a community platform on this website called Kajabi, where we had a small group, not even that small, but a group of people that were part of this community. So my job was really to drive up engagement in that community and also on social media, and just drive up engagement and brand awareness and be in charge of all things social, basically for all of the platforms and all of the channels. And I did that for about a year. Within a year, I quickly realized that that job was not just a community manager, and that I was basically in charge of all content, which is something that I'll go into a little bit later. But unfortunately for us people in marketing, especially digital marketing, especially social media, we have to wear a lot of different hats, and you never, even if you're hired on as a social media manager, you're never really just going to do that job unless you're at a really big company and there are a lot of people like in charge of different positions. In my case, I was like a one-man marketing team at this small company. So I was in charge of creating the content, coming up with ideas, posting it, engaging, strategic planning, brand, like all of the things that go into marketing that you would usually have like 2 or 3 people for. I was in charge of it all. It was like a lot to handle, and so after a year I had a meeting with my boss and I basically asked for a raise and a change of title because I felt like I deserved that because I wasn't just a community manager, I was a content manager, and that's what I got promoted to. So within a year I got promoted to content manager and I got a salary raise. I want to be super transparent with you guys, and as a content manager, I was earning $60,000. So just like $60,000 flat. Before that, I think that as a community manager, I was like at 55-ish or like somewhere around there. With marketing jobs, salaries are all over the place, as well as job titles. I feel like content manager in one company could be earning like $150,000, whereas content manager at a different company could be earning like $45,000. So I think that my experience was definitely like average, but from everyone that I know personally, I think that 60,000 from like 55 to $75,000 is like average for an entry level marketing position, which although I was promoted from community manager to content manager is still like entry level because I didn't have really anyone below me, but I also didn't really have anyone like above me. We were basically just like a 2-man marketing team in my case. So I want to just give you my personal experience on what my role was. And that was really like my only 2 jobs out of college. They were within the same company and both very much digital marketing, social media, and just like online, fully remote. That's been like my experience as a marketing person in my marketing career thus far. Now I want to go into kind of like what I like and what I don't like about my choice in job and kind of like marketing in general. So I love that marketing is a very, very broad choice in career. There are so many different things that you can do in marketing, whether it's, you know, on TV, radio, on digital marketing, if you want to work with like movies, or if you want to work like on Broadway or with tech, in healthcare. I mean, like every single industry, job, company ever has to have some type of marketing team. So it really opens up the doors to like possibilities. And I really love that a lot of these positions can be done from home. I also love that in marketing, there's always a challenge because it is an industry and it's a career choice that is always, always, always changing. I mean, I feel like today we could do things one way and like tomorrow it's going to be completely different. So it's something that will always keep you on your toes. You always have to like keep up to date with like new trends and software and AI and all of these things to just understand like what the marketing world is heading towards. I also really like that you're kind of in charge of like the way that a brand or a company or a service like presents itself. That was one of the things that I liked the most about my job. I was basically in charge of the design and like front facing strategy of what the customer sees with the company. So that involves like colors, font, just like overall messaging, and like how you control how your brand or service is perceived. And I really loved that because you can get really creative with how you want to be perceived. Just really fun to come up with different products and ideas, and you're always trying something new. And in the marketing world right now, because it is changing so much, it's really a place to like try new things, and I really like that. Those are some of the things that I liked, and now I want to talk about the things that I don't like that much. And one of the things which might be kind of contradicting because I am in digital marketing, I kind of hate how it's all turning towards digital marketing. And it's because I feel like in the near future, every single marketing position will basically be like a digital marketing position, whether, you know, that's ads or social media or like influencer marketing. But I feel like all of the different channels of marketing are just like shifting towards digital. And I don't really like that. I don't know, like I feel like the beauty in marketing is that there are so many different ways to do it. Another thing that I really don't like is how much computer time you have to have in this position, especially in my position. I mean, I said I work in digital marketing and I'm fully remote, so like obviously for 8 hours of a day I would have to be basically like glued to a computer, and that gets really exhausting, very like lonely after a long time. I did it for 3 years, so you definitely get lonely after a while. It's just so like isolating to just be like you and a computer. And I know that a lot of people think that like the best thing that can happen is remote work or just like you being able to work from a laptop and anywhere in the world, but it does take a lot of strain on your eyes and your mental. Like you just get so bored of like being on the computer for 8 hours in one day, every single day. Another big thing that goes into this, especially with like digital marketing and how everything is, in my opinion, shifting towards the digital world, is that it can be easily replaced by AI or by people in different countries who are willing to do the work for a lot less. And we've seen that a lot now with like social media, where there's a lot of social media agencies where they'll charge you a lot less, but it's usually because it's like the head of the company is in America, but then the rest of the workers are either like, you know, in the Philippines, in India, in Latin America, even like in the Dominican, like wherever, and they're able to work for a lot less than what an American employee would charge. And so I do think that that's one of like the big worries for people like me, where I love working remotely, but I'm also aware that like if a company can have me replaced by AI or by someone that's willing to do the work for a lot less, they'll probably do that. Maybe not now, but probably in the future, especially for like the smaller companies. It sucks because you go to school for 4 years and you want to work in this area, but the way that I see marketing going, it's definitely towards like more AI tools. Another thing that I don't really like is that it's not very customer centric or like people facing. I feel like it's one of those jobs that like whether you're a videographer or like an editor or social media or email marketing or paid ads, like you're always working behind the scenes, so you don't always get like the praise or the recognition or even like the feeling of like belonging to the success of a company. Because for example, sales has to have like direct, you know, conversation or interaction with the customers, and over time, I think that they'll become a more pivotal role in the company, whereas like marketing will always kind of be like on the back end. Can be replaced by AI or by other people offshore because they don't have that interaction like one-on-one with the customers. And the last thing that I don't really like, which I don't know, this might be like a little contradictory, is that there is so much data. And even like on social media, there are so many metrics, so many different KPIs, so many different things, just so much data on every single platform, on every single interaction. Like sometimes it can feel really overwhelming. And one of the things that I really disliked was that, for example, I would do marketing reports and I would do them. They would take me hours and hours and hours to do, and then they would do nothing with like the marketing report, nothing. And so it got to a point where I kind of didn't want to give the marketing report like as much time or like importance, because at first I was dedicating like almost a whole day to making these marketing reports, like going through every single channel, every single social media, every single email platform, our websites. and tracking all of this data, making charts. They never did anything with any of that data, and they just continued to do things the way that they wanted. I could go on and on and on about things that I like and I don't like, but I think we'll just keep it there. And to end off this video, I want to talk about the future of marketing. Like I said before, I really do think that the future is going to be AI. Mostly all of marketing, in my opinion, is going to go towards digital marketing, influencer marketing, and really like social media and whatever the next form of social media will be. There are so many trends and changes going on. Like right now, my generation and younger, we have stopped using Google as our search engine. Whereas like before, that was unthinkable. You would never think that people would stop using Google. My generation and younger, we have started to use TikTok as our search platform. Whereas before, if I wanted to look up a restaurant or find something near me, I would go on Google. I now go on TikTok. If I want to know something, even about like, I don't know, my relationship advice, I go on TikTok instead of going on Google. And so these are the things that I see the way that they're going, and I see the way that people are changing their patterns and like habits. For example, iPhones and Apple has lost the power, I would say, that it used to have on Americans in the whole world, like in Asia and just like in the other half of the world. Apple does not have that hold on people like it does in the United States, and I see that shifting now in the United States too. So with that, I'm trying to say that the way that marketing is going, I think that the consumers and the customers are getting smarter and smarter with clothes, with technology, with everything. They just want quality products at a good price. A lot of these brands charge 3, 4, 5 times what they should be charging because of their brand. And I think that consumers and customers are kind of shifting away from that. Whereas before, you would want to have maybe like a name brand sweater. Now you're okay with getting it at Target as long as it looks cute and it feels good and it's at a good price. Marketing, like I said at the beginning, is about selling either a product or a service. So I think that marketing in general is going to become a lot harder in the future, unless you have some type of like very unique value proposition to your product, to your brand. It's going to be a lot harder to stand out. I'm really excited, honestly, to see the future of marketing and where things go. We're in the first years of artificial intelligence, but I know that it's going to keep increasing and increasing in marketing and just all across business and our lives. I do think that marketing is one of the industries that AI is going to affect the most. So if you're watching this and you've already graduated, like, you're with me, like we already did it, so whatever. But if you're not graduated yet, or if you're unsure about your marketing degree, think about the type of job that you want. I mean, at the end of the day, if you get a marketing degree, there are so many things that you can do, but you got to think about the future of what this degree can do for you. I really hope that this video answered some of the questions that were left on my previous marketing video. If I didn't answer a specific question, comment it down below and I will try to get back to every single person. But thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.